Experiences 12-hour traffic standstill. Drivers call for dual carriageway upgrade.
Certainly, I think you can and you ought to extend more grace to people who have not been tainted. Nobody here has a corruption case. The worst thing that these young men and women have done here.
They want to replace a problem with another problem. And what we're saying is the problem cannot be the solution to the problem.
Azimio Youth leader Kasmuel Mako questions credibility of newly appointed IEBC officials, citing fears of possible bias and lack of independence ahead of the 2027 general elections.
Only a significant milestone for Honorable Ethekon, but also a profound honor for the Turkana community.
Sisi ilikuwa iko kando kando. Leo kwa hiyo kijana yetu darasa sasa kwa tuko ndani.
Jubilant Turkana residents applaud Erastus Ethekon for his IEBC nomination.
Nimuuliza wao nyinyi ni nani? Niko huko ndani. Nikaulizwa, nikaambiwa sisi ni askari, fungua mlango ama tuingie ndani. Wakamtoa jamaa, wakampeleka hapo nyumba nyingine ya next na kumtoa ule jamaa wetu ambaye anaitwa Muhammad.
Kichukuliwa wakuwe arrested kwa hizi police stations. Let the process go.
And family seeks answers after alleged abduction of Garissa man by suspected security agents.
Alright, we're live across our social media platforms on Facebook and on YouTube. My name is Macharia, and many thanks of course, entrusting us. Now let's get started. As youth leader Kasmuel Mako has raised serious concerns over the credibility of the recently appointed chairperson and commissioners of the Independent Electoral Boundaries Commission, that is the IEBC. Speaking during a meeting held in Nairobi, Mako, accompanied by a group of fellow youth leaders, voiced strong reservations about the new IEBC leadership's ability to conduct free and fair elections in Kenya. The youth leaders representing various regions across the country expressed a collective lack of trust in the newly constituted commission, citing fears of possible bias and lack of independence ahead of the 2027 general elections. Mako stated that transparent electoral processes are the backbone of democracy, and any doubts surrounding the electoral body threaten the nation's political stability. He called on relevant authorities to ensure that the IEBC maintains its integrity and gains public confidence.
Now we have a man who currently has a case in the appellate court, asking the court to reinstate him to the seat of the government that he is telling us is a very bad government. We were being led by the person who sold your grandmother fake fertilizer, mixed it with sand and cow dung, is the same person who's telling us that they are going to redeem us. The people who meted out the highest amount of violence to us young people. If you can trust that person, certainly I think you can and you ought to extend more grace to people who have not been tainted. Nobody here has a corruption case. The worst thing that these young men and women have done here is be so good at what they do that the praying political class has identified their talent.
As you see, the state of our country right now is people are trying to look for lesser devils and to try to look for leadership where it cannot be found. They want to replace a problem with another problem. And what we're saying is the problem cannot be the solution to the problem. We as the youth of this country, we have enough votes to be president, to be deputy president, to be member of parliament in all the 290 constituencies, and to win all the senatorial and women rep positions and governor positions in this country.
We cannot have the people who have destroyed this country. We cannot have the very, very people. Look at this. This is a contestant who is actually choosing his friends to go to IEBC. We do not have confidence in that IEBC because those are William Ruto's friends. So long as any result shows up and it says William Ruto is the winner, we will not accept. If a result comes out and it says that Rigathi Gachagua is the winner, we will not accept because those people are the same. Just the other side of the same coin. We are not going to accept anything that declares any of these legacy politicians the winner. That particular result will be rejected.
At the same time, residents of Turkana County came out in large numbers to celebrate and congratulate Erastus Edakong Dang following his nomination as the chairperson of Independent Electoral Bodies Commission. The jubilant residents praised Edakong's academic qualifications and extensive professional experience, stating that his nomination reflects inclusivity and fair representation for communities and arid and semi-arid lands that is ASL. According to them, the appointment is a significant step towards ensuring marginalized regions have a voice in key national institutions. The National Assembly's Departmental Committee on Justice and Legal Affairs is scheduled to begin the vetting process for either Cons and 6 other nominees on May 27th of 2025. National Assembly Speaker Moses Wetangula confirmed that the vetting will commence immediately after the House resumes its sittings. If approved, the Con will take up the crucial role of lead the IEBC ahead of the 2027 general elections, a position that carries significant responsibility in ensuring free, fair and credible electoral processes in Kenya.
Is not only a significant milestone for Honorable Edakong, but also a profound honor for the Turkana community, our pastoral groups, and marginalized populations across the country. It reflects a commitment to inclusivity, equity, and national cohesion, values that are deeply embedded in our constitution.
Sisi ilikuwa iko kando kando. Leo kwa hiyo kijana yetu darasa sasa kwa tuko ndani.
Ruto amekumbuka, ametambua uwepo wetu kama jamii ya Waturkana, hakuwa tunaweza shikilia pia hizo vyo.
Now, road users of the Nakuru-Nairobi highway faced a frustrating 12-hour traffic standstill that forced many to spend the night on the road. The heavy traffic, which began at approximately 6 p.m. on Friday, was finally cleared around 11 a.m. on Saturday morning. However, the exact cause of the delay remains unclear, as no accidents were reported during the standstill. Many drivers and passengers who were caught in the traffic jam have expressed frustration over the significant loss of time and their disruption to their schedule. Some drivers reported missing important appointments, while others faced financial losses due to the unexpected delay. The incident has sparked renewed calls for locals and road users for the government to expedite plans to upgrade the Nairobi-Nakuru highway into a dual carriageway. They argue that such an upgrade would ease congestion and reduce the likelihood of future traffic standstills.
Na tumefika hapa usiku saa 4 na magari yazisongi na sijui kwa nini mbaya huko mbele.
Tunauliza serikali kama inawezekana. Hii barabara ilipeanwa kutoka zamani. Iwe duo. Ikiwa duo tunaweza fikisha mali kwa haraka na tunaweza inji inaweza kuwa kwa haraka.
Right, moving on. Tensions is high in Bula Mazuri village, Garissa County, after a family reported the alleged abduction of their relative Mohammed Ahmed Noor by individuals believed to be security officers. According to eyewitnesses, the incident occurred in the early hours of the morning when unknown men attempted to force open the front door of Ahmed's home. When unsuccessful, they reportedly scaled the perimeter wall and entered the compound by force. The assailants then allegedly seized Mohammed and left with him in a Land Cruiser vehicle. The family has expressed deep concern over Mohammed's whereabouts, stating that they have not heard from him since the incident. They are now demanding that if Mohammed is suspected of any wrongdoing, he should be presented before a court of law rather than being taken to an undisclosed location. Garissa police confirmed that the family has officially recorded a statement and investigations into the incident have commenced. Authorities have pledged to probe the matter thoroughly in an effort to unravel the mystery surrounding Mohammed's disappearance.
Nimemuuliza wao nyinyi ni nani? Niko huko ndani, nikaulizwa, nikaambiwa sisi ni askari, fungua mlango ama tuingie ndani. Wakamtoa jamaa, wakampeleka hapo nyumba nyingine ya next na kumtoa ule jamaa wetu ambaye anaitwa Mohamed Noor. Jamaa hata hakuwa Garissa hata siku nyingi, alikaa hapa siku 4 na akiwa mfugaji huko Badia. Kukuja tu hapa kwa mgonjwa tu kwa kujitibu, kikosi cha askari wanamkujia usiku na kumchukua.
Rais wetu wa Ruto ametuambia hakuna abduction. Na mpaka sasa tunaona abduction. Tafadhali kama mtu yeyote amekosa makosa, tunamtaka wapeleke jela ama mahakamani, tujue kitu endelea aje.
Watu wakichukuliwa wakuwe arrested kwa hizi police stations. Let the process go. Let people be taken to courts. Why are we having these beautiful courts? Is it just because we just want to have them? Because Garissa County has a court, will not allow that. What is the meaning of having that high court here for Northern Region Kenya? There is no need.
Now, a dispute has emerged within the family of the late former Rift Valley Regional Commissioner Isaiah Kiplangat Cheluget over the government's planned purchase of 5,800 acres of contested land in Narok County. The land is said to be used for relocation of local residents. Speaking on behalf of the family, former Principal Secretary Nancy Kirui confirmed that discussions with the government regarding the land sale are ongoing. She expressed gratitude to President William Ruto and Narok Governor Patrick Ntutu for the intervention and support, emphasizing that the succession process for the late Chelugat's estate was completed in accordance with the law. However, Moses Kipkirui Chelugat, one of the sons of the late commissioner, has strongly opposed the sale, claiming he was not informed of the plan and asserting that the inheritance process has not been finalized. He accused the president of issuing misleading information regarding the matter and vowed to move to court to block any payments until the dispute is resolved.
Earning our late father's land, LR Ilmotiok Sismara /54. Just as His Excellency the President stated, we are in engagement with the government on this matter, and we have already made an offer to sell the land to the government to settle the squatters. Interestingly and worthy of note, our father, the late Isaiah Kiplangat Cheluget, had on several occasions reached out to the government, looking for a peaceful and amicable solution. Sadly, he passed on before its actualization. We, the family, are pleased and extremely grateful to His Excellency the President and the Governor Narok for their determination and resolve to find a meaningful solution. We also wish to bring to your attention that all matters concerning succession and the estate of our late father was conclusively settled at the High Court in Kericho, and a confirmation of grant issued on the 12th of June 2018. We therefore wish to ask the members of the public to ignore any other persons purporting to speak on behalf of the family. I didn't want to address that because he's a stranger. The grant specifically states who is the administrator, and he doesn't appear anywhere. So I would rather not recognize him in the sense that he actually is a stranger.
Now, residents of Elgeyo Marakwet County took to the streets of Kapsowar town in protest against the proposed removal of hardship allowances for government employees working in difficult conditions. The peaceful demonstration was led primarily by teachers who voiced their frustrations over the government's decision to delist Elgeyo Marakwet from the classification of hardship areas. The teachers under the Kenya National Union of Teachers, that is NAT, said the move was not only unfair but also ignored the reality of life in the region. Speaking after the protest, NAT Acting Secretary Ben Ridho and Regional Representative Musa Musieni expressed shock at the government's decision. They argued that the county, particularly the Kerio Valley region, continues to experience serious challenges related to insecurity, including frequent bandit attacks and poor infrastructure. The protesters urged the government to reconsider the classification and reinstate the hardship status, warning that failure to do so may lead to mass transfers of workers unwilling to serve in such volatile conditions without adequate compensation.
Our county has witnessed a lot of banditry, and we have lost more than 1,000 members of this community over the past few years because of cases of insecurity.
Yes.
Number two, we have also had cases where people have even been attacked by wildlife. Teachers, hardship must remain.
Must remain.
We want to point out that number two, Elgeyo Marakwet has a number of areas which are prone to hardships, including areas around Liter and Chororget. Hardship must remain.
Must remain.
Tunasema kabisa kama chama ya kwamba wanachama wetu wameweza kutuhakikishia ya kwamba watasimama pamoja na sisi tuweze kufanya njia yoyote kuhakikisha ya kwamba yale ambayo tumepata ni lazima tulinde na tutalinda kabisa. Na utaona ya kwamba hata katika sehemu yote walimu wamesema ya kwamba wanachukua hatua ya kuandamana.
Tumeketi kwa pamoja na sauti moja kupinga na kusema hardship iweze kubaki chinzi vile ilivyo, na hata vile chinzi vile ilivyo, na hata vile majirani wetu kutoka West Pokot hawajatishiwa.
Now, Kitui County Referral Hospital is grappling with an overwhelming influx of patients, with more than 1,300 people seeking medical services at the facility daily, according to the hospital's medical superintendent, Dr. John Mungai. Speaking to the media, Dr. Mungai noted that the surge in patient numbers has exerted immense pressure on both the hospital's infrastructure and health care personnel. However, he assured the public that robust measures have been put in place to ensure that every patient continues to receive appropriate care. To address the situation, Dr. Mungai said the hospital is optimizing patient flow, enhancing internal coordination, and ensuring better service delivery. He added that while the institution has faced occasional shortages of essential drugs, prompt interventions and effective management are helping maintain service continuity.
Ya watu ambao wanakuja kutafuta huduma hapa ya matibabu inaendelea kuongezeka. Wakati tulikuwa tunaongea hapa, I think ni mwezi wa kwanza Januari, ilikuwa kama 1,000 kwa kila siku. Sasa imefika karibu 1,300. Kama Jumatatu iliyopita ilikuwa na 1,400 na bado anaendelea kuongezeka. Na tunahudumia vizuri. Najua hapa karibuni tangu mtandao wa SHA uanze, hospitali kumekuwa na watu wengi na tunafurahia. Hiyo ni kusema vile watu wanakuja kutafuta huduma hapa, ndivyo madawa inatakikana kwa wingi. Na kwa hivyo ni shukrani, nataka kuwajulisha kuwa hapa hospitali yetu Kitui County Referral Hospital tumepata madawa, huduma tunaendeleza vizuri sana. Kwa bed sio baya sana, bado watu ni wengi, lakini madaktari wetu tumejaribu kufanya mambo kwa haraka kama matibabu haraka ili watu wasijazane sana kwa vitanda. Dawa zile ambao zimefika hospitali hii ni za shilingi milioni 11, lakini kwa county ni milioni 33 na bado zingine zinakuja. Na haya madawa kama umejiandikisha kwa SHA, ukija hapa hospitali hata kama ni outpatient ama ni kulazwa, hutalipa kitu. Hata kama ni upasuaji, hutalipa kitu. Hata kama ni watu wa dialysis, watu wa cancer, bora tu uwe umejisajili kwa SHA, utapata hii madawa ni free, matibabu ni free.
Now, in a significant move towards achieving universal health coverage in Kenya, Health Cabinet Secretary Aden Duale highlighted the central role of a robust health workforce in realizing this national goal. Speaking at the Kenya Medical Practitioners, Pharmacists and Dentists Union, that is the KMPDU annual delegates conference in Mombasa, Duale stressed that UHC cannot be achieved without adequately supported by and empowered healthcare professionals. This marks the first time as a Cabinet Secretary has attended the annual forum, underscoring the government's commitment to improving the country's healthcare system. Duale reiterated that without doctors, nurses, and other healthcare professionals being fully equipped and supported, the vision of UHC remains unattainable. Duale also addressed the government's fulfillment of its commitments under the 2024 Return to Work formula. He confirmed that the first installment of 1.75 billion has been paid to healthcare workers, with the remaining balance scheduled to be cleared in the next financial year.
We are also aware of the challenges the healthcare workers face when accessing care under the Social Health Authority. It is inconceivable that those who deliver care cannot themselves access quality care. And I repeat it, it is immoral, unacceptable that those who deliver care cannot themselves access quality care. I am working closely with the Social Health Authority, who their chairman is here, the Digital Health Agency, the institution that locks you out. By the way, it's not even SHA that locks you out. It is the system, it's the super digital highway that locks you out. The CEO is here, the Council of Governors, the Ministry of Public Service, and the National Treasury to resolve these issues immediately and decisively. We must care for our carers. We must care for our carers. And today I'm happy that one of the governors who believe in the implementation of the UHC is sitting here. And I will endorse, and I will take his proposal to the Council of Governors that the SHA contribution for not only healthcare workers, but for all civil servants, both at the national and at the county level, be deducted at source. Because it doesn't, when I came to the ministry, I couldn't understand how government wanted UHC to be successful when its own public servants and healthcare workers are the people who are locked out. So when they go to hospital, if the nurse and the doctor and other health workers said, I don't have a cover, so SHA is not working. That was why we had a problem, and nobody was seeing that. So I think the proposal of His Excellency Governor Abduction, a very progressive solution, is the one that I will take to the Council of Governors, to Public Service, to the National Treasury, to the Presidency. Dr. Mai is here.
At the same time, Mombasa Governor Abdusamad Sharif Nasir has called for statutory deductions to be made directly at the source to enhance oversight independence, while Medical Services Principal Secretary Omar Olunga emphasized the importance of stakeholder engagement to build consensus and public trust in the healthcare system.
The statement that was indicated, I know every county has its own challenges. And I know those who are here will probably state that why are others not being treated in this manner, why are others being treated in this other manner. As a county government of Mombasa, and I was telling this to the CS, I actually have no problem, because one of the solutions to be able to remove this cutoff is counties are delaying to pay SHA. I'm not here to protect SHA, but I'm just stating the way it is. He has stated that they are governed by law, and the law said that by a certain date, if you don't pay, then you get cut off. Now, are there counties, I'm glad Mombasa is not one of them, but are there others who the cutoff is done because people have not remitted? Yes. Maybe a conversation we might want to take on that is statutory deductions, which are compulsory that we have to pay, should be deducted from Treasury before the money reaches you. Now, it does not mean that the whole wage bill gets deducted. And I want to explain, in the words of the PS, why you have to come up with solutions that are going to be practical. The PS for Public Health will agree with me. I was the last one to sign on the community health promoters having two payrolls. There was a payroll that was coming in from the county governments, and then there was a payroll that was coming from the national government. The challenge with that comes in, who pays the piper? When you have a situation where the person paying is someone else, and the person who you are working for is someone else, you are creating a recipe for mayhem and chaos in any administration, be it government or be it private institutions. So the issue of statutory deduction, that is by law. We have to be able to pay. We have to pay as you earn, we have to pay SHA, we have to pay NSSF. To even have oversight independence, there is nothing wrong in the money for county assemblies being deducted at source and assemblies getting their money as the executive is getting its money, so that everyone can know what their responsibility is and what their job is.
Right, moving on, a groundbreaking 40 million shillings wastewater treatment plant has been launched in Mikindani, Mombasa County in a bid to protect the coastal marine ecosystem and improve sanitation. The constructed wetland, the first of its kind in the region, was unveiled by Mining and Blue Economy Cabinet Secretary Hassan Joho. The project is funded by the European Union under the Go Blue initiative and implemented through a partnership between UNEP and UN Habitat and the Kenya Marine and Fisheries Research Institute, that is KEMFRI. Now it aims to mitigate pollution in coastal areas by mimicking natural water filtration systems, preventing harmful effluents from reaching the ocean. CS Joho said the project signals a shift towards sustainable water management and climate resilience. He noted that Mikindani residents have long suffered from untreated wastewater due to inadequate sewer systems, leading to pollution of Tudo Creek, marine biodiversity loss, and health hazards. He emphasized that nations globally are transforming wastewater into resources, and Kenya must follow suit to protect public health and support the blue economy.
The Mikindani community has struggled with the adverse effects of untreated wastewater for a long due to limited coverage and sewerage system. The lack of an appropriate wastewater system caused massive pollution of the Tudor Creek, destruction of marine biodiversity, and contamination of soil and water, leading to serious health risks to the residents. It was imperative that a solution be found to safeguard the health of our people and sustainably of our blue economy. Around the world, progressive nations are turning wastewater into assets. Ladies and gentlemen, a project of this magnitude does not happen in isolation. It takes a vision, collaboration, and commitment.
Today we mark a new chapter, one that embraces nature-based solutions to address these problems. The constructed wetland not only improves water quality and restores biodiversity, but also serves as a model for future green infrastructure projects in Kenya. We believe that this project will serve as a model for other initiatives across other counties, expanding the benefits of such innovative nature-based water solutions.
Taka hizi ni lazima tuwe nazo karibu 150 katika Mombasa nzima, ambao uwezekano ni mchache. Pili, hapa tuko katika ule mlima, kwa hivyo ni ile gravity, yani maji yanashuka yenyewe. Kuna mpango ambao kwamba tunaufanya. Hao wenye kujenga majumba kiholela unaaminiwa ya kuwa unafaa kujenga kwa kutumia njia fulani. Nimejulishwa na waziri wa mambo ya ujenzi, nyumba ambazo kwamba zimeweza kupatiwa cancellation. Yani tunakuambia hata kama umeweza kuanza pale ulipofika, endelea, lakini either urekebishe na ulipe fine, na zitakuwa ni fine za mamilioni. Nyumba 27 tayari zimepatiwa cancellation. Hauendelei kujenga kwa sababu unajenga huku unaumiza watu wetu. Tumefahamikiana, sio?
All right, let's get sports now. The national men's under-20 football team Rising Stars touched down earlier today at Jomo Kenyatta International Airport following their spirited performance at the ongoing Africa Under-20 Cup of Nations, that is AFCON tournament in Cairo, Egypt. Led by assistant coach Anthony Akulia, the team made history by securing their first ever point in the group stages of the continental competition, a milestone achievement for the budding squad. Their resilience and determination earned them praise both at home and abroad. One of these standout moments of the campaign came from midfielder Kevin Wagaya, who earned the coveted Man of the Match award in a thrilling encounter against seven-time champions in Nigeria. The impressive performance showcased the potential and talent emerging from Kenya's youth football ranks. Despite not advancing past the group stages, the Rising Stars AFCON outing has been hailed as a promising step in the right direction for Kenyan football, with hopes high for the team's future development and success.
You know, much was expected from us. At some point, I felt like maybe we let Kenyans down. But again, I realized that it was just our first tournament, and we learned a lot of things. I feel like those things, if we put into practice, we must first conquer the region, as in each and every tournament that happens, we must be there.
They put up a spirited fight despite coming back home early, but we could pick a few positives from the team that we have a future in terms of giving these young guys more exposure, and like that tournament, it really gave us a lot of exposure.
Sema tumekuwa na, hata kama tujakuwa na time poa sana huko Egypt, but tumekula na a lot of things, and sasa hivi wenye tumerudi home tumekuja pia kucorrect, because si wenyewe tunajua kuna next time, kuna another time ya ku fight back, ya kuonesha bado tuna.
Right, it is exactly 33 minutes past the top of the hour. That's going to wrap up our bulletin here at EBN Weekend Edition. Of course, many thanks for, of course, keeping me company here on the program. My name is Martin Macharia, signing off. Do have yourself a blessed Sunday ahead. And as always, let's do this again when God says we do.